So this is Tokyo's faux Eiffel Tower, and you can go up to that first level, I think, for 800 and something slammers, and for 1400 slammers you can go up to the top. Here's an interesting sculpture. I have no idea what it might possibly reflect. It's almost disorientating. By that I mean you almost lose your balance. I do, with those clouds moving as I look up like this. A curious bit of sculpture. It looks like huskies, although I see no evidence of their having harnesses, etc. And this is right at the base of one of the supporting corners of this structure. Here the man is not only cleaning up bits of trash, but any kind of leaves that fall, and the wind blows leaves in there continuously. In contrast to the lady I saw in Tirana, Albania, who was a public servant cleaning up trash, and she picked up a bunch of trash that she didn't want to put in her bag and threw it in the river. And not to mention that she left a whole bunch of stuff just sitting there anyway. Just a difference in culture and economy. Pretty lines in that building, simple, elegant, but giving a massive sense of proportion. And now halfway up, or whatever it is, that's the first level that you take up. Can't go to the higher level today because the winds are too great. I don't know whether they're afraid that too many people will allow the winds to have an effect on the structure or not. I'll take a little time to look closely at some of this architecture here. As is often the case, on top of the building, or at the tops, is where the greatest interest is. Not always. This building on the right I saw from down below, but I didn't see the one behind it, which is interesting in its own way. What's lovely is the subtle sculpture of the designs. Here we're looking out into the water area, but I'm not exactly sure where this is. A great deal of shoreline in Tokyo. Parks are always fun to walk through and see what's interesting there if I have a chance. And that may be the Atago shrine that I will take a look at later. I'll pan again from this corner, water way over to our left here. Either temples over there or small parks. But you can get an idea also in the distance of some commercial clusters of buildings. Continuing to pan from left to right. An incredibly large building there, dwarfing everything else that I can see or have seen. These are the environs I find fascinating in a large city, the rooftop. Below me are several cemeteries, and I've seen even larger ones on this little cruise about this level on the structure, the Eiffel Tower one. Each one of these units, at least that are on the right side, have a patio and garden type area. Continuing to move to the right. Nothing quite as giant or as interesting as that one, that big building, but here a pretty one in the middle, simple. And down there, an interesting design. There appears to be its broad entrance. And now a last pan to where we started. So there's the skyline of Tokyo. And here is the look down window, so prepare for some vertigo. This may give us an idea of what it's like to be a rock climber doing Yosemite. A lot more birds than I have. Here a pretty little parklet that caught my attention because of the colors and the foliage. And this little stream. Not at all maintained and probably not used much because the erosion of dirt from the recent rains makes it slip. I don't see flocks of birds around like pigeons as a nuisance, or my friend calling them flying rats. And also they are very much unaffected by the presence of humans, I think because the Japanese treat anything like this with, and always have, tremendous respect. There's a walkway that leads up to a point where we can look at this falls here. All of this probably a man-made construct, by whom and for what and when, I don't know. Here, a pretty little park, nicely maintained, probably serves well the families and people that live in these nearby apartment buildings. Maybe even those who can take a brief lunch and work here. Looks like a shrine complex of some sort. I'll see if I can get entry. There's a guard over here. I'm looking for two shrines that are somewhere within this area. Where one's a temple, the Zōjō-ji Temple, and the other is the Atago shrine. Standing outside of what looks to be an abandoned religious place, and next to it, very pretty garden. But not terribly maintained, and looks like it's a storage place for construction materials. So I have no idea what the purpose of this is for. Normally such a place would be well maintained. Turning the camera on end, it's Shiba Koen 4 Chome, Koen's Park. Here a purification trough, if you will, including the spoon or ladle. A couple of worship points here. Incense box. Here it's open, but for what purpose I don't know. Can't tell whether it was built before or after that tree grew into that position. There's the bell and the rope to ring it with. So just to orientate, here's where Tokyo Tower is, and this is Shiba Park, and we are here. And one of the places I'm looking for is Zōjō-ji Temple. Yeah. Yeah, I think we are about to enter now the Zōjō-ji Temple complex. And the fallen cherry blossoms give a lovely pink border to this entry walkway. And the ancient poetry of Japan has major chunks of it that allude to anything and everything about these cherry blossoms, including them falling through the air, particularly as the powerful winds of spring blow them from the trees, as you can see, and then blows them along the ground. A moving carpet of